Buenos días, clase. Profesora Barth here. You are in lesson 0.3, and this lesson is how are you, or ¿cómo estás? You're going to learn how to ask and answer how are you. You'll learn more ways to greet others and say goodbye. And you'll learn this so that you can have more ways of greeting others and more ways of saying goodbye to people. So you're not just stuck saying the same thing. You can also find out how others are doing and tell them how you're doing. And you'll know you have it when you get 90% on your mastery check, and you have a short conversation to demonstrate what you've learned with a partner. So as a reminder, we learned in the last lesson that there's more than one way to use and say you. There's tú and usted. So remember that tú is more familiar or casual, and look at who you use it for: friends, family, people your age, younger children and pets. And then usted is more formal. You use it to show respect for people you don't know well, older people, teachers, and in public places. So we're going to see that as we go along. So remember that repeating new words and phrases helps you to remember and to be able to use words and phrases. It helps you solidify the knowledge in your brain so that you can use it in the future. And also verbal repetitions refers to articulating or saying words after you hear them. So it is important to listen carefully and repeat them. So let's practice saying the following phrases. And remember that on the left, you've got the English translation, so you can look at that while you're saying the Espanol. Notice that this upside down question mark is highlighted. You've probably noticed that in the previous lessons that lots of the questions have a question mark upside down at the beginning. And then Spanish, that's how they do it. They put a question mark at the beginning of the question. It's kind of nice because it helps you to know that there's a question coming up, instead of reading the whole thing and then going, oh, that was a question, I didn't even notice. All right, so let's practice saying, ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? ¿Qué tal? Muy bien, muy bien, muy bien. And on this one, you could just say bien. Also, if somebody said, ¿Cómo estás? You could just say bien, gracias. You always want to add gracias at the end. Nothing, nada, nada, nada. So if somebody says, ¿Qué tal? You could say, nada. ¿Qué pasa? Nada. What's going on? Regular, regular, regular. If somebody says, how are you? ¿Cómo estás? You could say regular. And you always want to say thank you when somebody greets you or asks you how you're doing. Gracias, gracias, gracias. All right, we've got a silent H here again. And this is hasta luego, hasta luego, hasta luego, hasta mañana, hasta mañana, hasta mañana. Nos vemos, nos vemos, nos vemos. Let's put some of these words together. Buenos días, señora Gómez. Hola, mía, ¿cómo estás? Muy bien, gracias. ¿Y usted? Muy bien, gracias. There's definitely other ways that you could have greeted here, but this is what we're going to do on this dialogue here. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Qué pasa? Nada, ¿y ustedes? Notice ustedes means you all. That's another way to say you. Estoy bien, gracias. Estoy regular. Hasta adiós, hasta luego. Nos vemos. All right, let's review the vocab from this lesson and make sure you have this in your guided notes. But we're going to practice saying it first, all together one time through. ¿Cómo está usted? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué tal? Gracias. Muy bien. Nada. Regular. Hasta luego. Hasta mañana. Nos vemos. Okay, so if you were greeting me as your teacher, which one of these two would you use? Would you say ¿Cómo está usted? Or ¿Cómo estás? Let's practice the new vocab by finding the right word for the following blanks. 1, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis. Let's look at the answers. Hola, buenos días, ¿cómo estás? Estoy bien, gracias. ¿Y tú? Estoy regular, gracias. ¿Y tú? Adiós, nos vemos. Hasta mañana. Hasta luego, adiós. In this lesson, you learned how to ask how are you in formal and familiar ways, different responses for answering how are you, and some new ways to say goodbye. Bueno, adiós, estudiantes. Nos vemos. Hasta mañana. Next up, I want you to make sure you completed your guided notes. You move on to the next activity in the module and try asking someone how they are doing in Spanish. Okay, adiós, ciao.